I'm Martin Schlatzer. I'm a nutrition ecologist, and I worked at the BOKU for 10 years at the Institute for Meteorology at the Center for Global Change and Sustainability. Now I'm at the FIBL Austria, and I did a lot of studies, actually together with my colleague Thomas Lindenthal, but with other colleagues also at the BOKU or at the FIBL. And now I'm going to present like one project we did recently, and yeah, I wish you a good first presentation, good start. I hope you had a good meal. And if I'm pushing the button, then it starts, right? Then I can talk and maybe introduce something already. No? Okay. I got the 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go.
There's a cover slide also there.
Oh, yes, there's a cover slide. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to start. Perfect. So, climate change. We know that it's already happening. And just recently, there were the floodings in Lower Austria, in Vienna. And there have been also floodings in Spain, where around 200 people died. And even in Central Africa and West Africa, there have been about 4 to 5 million people affected by recent flooding. So that's a really core issue, climate change, what we have to tackle. And actually, we see also, when we see 2023, we see now 9 boundaries assessed, and we see that 6 are already crossed, and climate change is one part, but also land use, biodiversity loss. So the safe green operating space we surpassed like already in many areas. And food has tremendous effects on the global crises, on the global challenges. If it is biodiversity loss or climate change, land use, animal welfare, to mention just some of it. So it depends, where will the future head to? Will it be more like a diet more with meat or more plant-based? So what is a factum is that the global impact of food, 1 out of 3 people are overweight or obese, 1 out of 12 is hungry or undernourished, and it's a leading cause of death if you think about heart diseases or cancer. So actually that are health impacts, but the food system also is associated with environmental impacts, such as freshwater use, 70% of freshwater withdrawals, or main driver of biodiversity loss and tropical deforestation. Cattle and soy feed is the #1 globally regarding deforestation of tropical rainforests, and it's a cause for the increasing risk for future pandemics. And here we have this approach, this One Health approach, what you might know already. That means basically animal, plant health, environmental health, and human health goes all together. That means like if we tackle this, then we can also tackle food safety and security, zoonotic diseases, as we mentioned it, climate change, biodiversity loss, and land use. So that are many areas what we can tackle, and that was the base for our study. So if all Austria would go more towards a more plant-based diet, that means 2/3 less meat in the ÖGS scenario, or the other scenario is ovo-lacto-vegetarian or vegan. That means like completely plant-based, as you know. That are the 3 scenarios we assessed in our study. And regarding the results, if you look at the ÖGS scenario, that means 2/3 less meat, that would mean around 64 million less people, less animals being killed. And in the ovo-lacto-vegetarian diet, it's 100 million and 108 million in the so-called vegan scenario. And this has also an indirect impact on climate change, on land use, because it also frees in the ÖGS scenario about 140,000 hectares. In the ovo-lacto-vegetarian, it's half of the agriculture area in Austria, and in the vegan scenario it would be around 1.8 million hectares. And we even took in even the kilocalories of the animal products, they were substituted by soy. And in the first 2 scenarios, it would also be possible to free some, that was already factored in, to have like completely free range for all the animals. That's what many consumers would like to have, so could be like also a combination with organic agriculture as well. And regarding carbon footprint by diet, it would also reduce by 28% the greenhouse gas emissions on the food sector. Half by lacto-vegetarian, it would be half of the emissions, and the vegan diet it would be more than 2/3, which would be reduced on the food sector. And going towards organic would additionally bring 6 to 13% less greenhouse gas emissions. And regarding soy feed imports, these would be totally obsolete. The imports for the animals from Brazil, Argentina, and USA mainly, if we cut the meat consumption actually by 25% already. You might ask yourself, what is the reason? What is the reason that plant-based food have, on average, 20 to 30 20 to 30 times better performance regarding the carbon footprint, or it uses less water and also less damaging for environment. One reason is the high consumption of animals consumed in Austria. That means around 1,300 animals per head per lifetime are consumed. More than 800 chicken, 430 fish, more than 30 pigs, 3 sheep, goats, 3 cattle, and half of a horse is consumed. That means the high amount. We eat in 2 to 3 times too much regarding the Austrian Nutrition Society. And the second reason is also the efficiency. If we have, for example, 9 kilograms of plant protein, of soy, for example, and we feed it to beef, then there are 5 portions which can be delivered. In case of tofu, if we produce tofu, then it would be 12 times the amount of portions which would be delivered. And actually, the effects, the health effects, but also climate change and land use et al. Were also factored in the new nutritional recommendations. One milestone was displayed. So it was published like 2-3 months ago, so very recently. So the new Austrian nutritional recommendations, the plate was one very big milestone, but the second big milestone was also that there are recommendations regarding the ovo-lacto-vegetarian diet. That is really a highlight, to say so. And the third is also there is guidelines. If you adapt the vegan diet, there are also recommendations, also published by the ministry, but also by the Austrian Nutrition Society. If we turn like more into a more green world, we can say, or if we're eating more plant-based, we have less meat, less heat. That means a benefit for climate change, for diseases like heart risk, for example, can be lowered. Food instead of feed security is given, and a win-win situation for environmental, animal, and human health is given as well. So if you don't have enough of this talk now, you can also go into my book or into our studies. We also wrote a fact sheet published by the Climate Change Center Austria about food and climate. Yeah, I say very thank you to you all, and if you have answers, you can write me or text me. I wanted to say almost, and yeah, and I want to say thank you for letting me talk here, and thank you for all the people, for the people at the technics, the university, and all the people who are involved in organizing this nice day. I wish you a nice afternoon ahead. Thank you.